All these voices. All these voices. All these things you can't explain. All these painful memories. They keep haunting you and daunting me. It's just a ghost of you and me. It's just a smoke and gasoline. It's just a ghost of you and me. Of you and me. All these whispers. All these footsteps in the rain. All these shadows in my mind. With my reflection I can't find. It's just a ghost of you and me. It's just a smoke and gasoline. It's just a ghost of you and me. Of you and me. Don't let them take you away. Don't let them bring you down inside. It's just the mirrors in your mind. Don't let them bring you down.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Staring into the Abyss. I'm your host, horror author James Hershey Jr., and with me, as always, is my co-host, Old Boy James Ash. How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good. How you doing, brother?
I am doing really good, and with us tonight, we have a very special guest. It is July 8th, 8 p.m., and we are joined by the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Eigh8t The Chosen One. How you doing, brother?
Amazing and feeling like it was meant to be.
I'm always so happy when you come on the show. You've only been on once, but this is the second time. But I'm happy that you're back because the last time we had an amazing discussion, and I cannot wait to get into this one as well. So what is going on in your world, brother?
Whew. Well, I'll just kick it off, I guess, everywhere at the same time. Last time you talked to me, I was going through a lot, and I was hungrier than ever, fire in my eyes like always. But to be honest, man, I'm just in a comfortable space right now. And the beautiful thing that's going to be tonight is that I think a lot of people, when they do an interview, they'll always try to duplicate that. But the one thing that I'm loving is I am in a very different place right now. And I think that that's just going to be great for anyone that listens to all of us to see how things change. And when they change, you got to embrace that shit and roll with it. And I'm definitely embracing it. But I can tell you lots more tonight. I just don't want to roll it off all in one shot.
Well, welcome again, Eigh8t. I'm glad to have you on again.
Dude, I'm honored to be back.
So, from the first show, I want everybody to know that we're having Eigh8t back on. It's been about 3 months. And I'm going to call this Eigh8t Part 2, Eigh8t's Revenge. So, Eigh8t, let's get it right into it. So, how's everything going? What's going on? Anything coming up? Anything you got some spoilers you want to tell us or anything?
Yeah. I mean, I got a bunch of... I shouldn't say that. It's not like I got a bunch of shit, but I got a few big things. Crack Baby Billionaire, I talked about that last time. That's up for pre-order right now. We're about to do a cast signing for that. The reviews coming back on that have been fucking incredible. Mr. Parker, a bunch of other people. Sorry if I'm not naming all the names of every reviewer, but I can't. Web Movie 1 is going to be reviewing it soon here. I'm working with a new artist. I already put out my last album for my music, My Empire, and I ended up bumping into someone. It's funny how life works. Me and this person had unfinished business. We worked together before, and it didn't go as planned, and I felt like the universe wasn't ready for our time. But our time is now, and we're working on this artist's single. And that artist's name is Fallen Angel. Go figure, Fallen Angel and The Chosen One. But yeah, we're going to put out that single very soon, hopefully in the months to come. So I'm looking forward to that. Heartbreak Killer With Sean Donahue, a lot is going into that. Just going over the script right now, going over the character, building the character. It's not filming anytime soon, but it's one of those movies where you put so fucking much into. You know what I mean? You put so much into that you know you're doing the right thing. I mean, you guys ever have that going on where you're just putting so much into it and you couldn't feel better because you know that no opportunity will be wasted, no time will be wasted, nothing will be wasted because you just have this feeling, man. That feeling is in the air. Like the director wants it bad, I want it bad, the people that are involved, they want it fucking bad. And I just, I get excited for that. And as bad as I want it, when other people want it bad, it just makes me want it like fucking pizza. You know what I mean? And for anyone out there taking that lightly, keep in mind I'm a natural bodybuilder. I don't get pizza every day of the week. So when I do fucking have a pizza or a piece of pizza, who are we kidding? It's a whole pizza. Yes, I destroy that shit and I want it better than anything else. So those are the main things that I've been up to as far as like what's on my mind and big things. However, as the show goes on, I'm sure I'll drop a couple spoilers.
See, this is interesting to me because last episode we did with you, we got to talking about your album because I was telling you how I had listened to some of it and I really enjoyed it. And you had said that ship had pretty much sailed for you. You weren't going to be doing that anymore, most likely, but you could always return to it. Now, what I want to know from you is this new single you're talking about. Are you going to be on it as well, or are you just helping to produce it, or what's going on with that?
No, I won't be on it. And that was talked about, you know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. I'm not afraid of going back on my word because you cannot control how you feel. If I felt like I should be on there, then believe me, I would hop on there. I'll be honest, I do say a line, but it's like a production line. You know what I'm saying? It's not like let's just lay it out on the line. Number one, I promise everyone out there, I am not Fallen Angel. For everyone out there thinking like it's another Corey Brown spectacle, it's not that. I'm truly working with someone, and I guess I will let the cat out the bag. And she is going to do one hell of a song. You know what I mean? It's been, guys, I hate to use the word incredible because I feel like a lot of times people say incredible when they can't figure out anything else to say. But I guess that's how I do feel about this situation. It's kind of incredible, the way the universe opened up, the way, the universe, man. That's all I can say right now. I'm not featured on it. I did write it. We're working together. It's a lot of her pain, a lot of her life. And we just came together, and I can't wait to release it, man. I'm so fucking excited. And it feels good to watch another artist grow, you know what I mean? It feels good to be, more behind the boards, just the writing aspect, and having another artist, have their opportunity to really shine. And I really believe she's going to shine.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, and it's not going back on your word, just to clarify real quick, because the last episode when we talked about it, I was saying I hope you go back because I really enjoyed your music. And you were saying, well, yeah, I might go back. I might be involved with it in some aspect, you know what I mean? But you just didn't feel that you were. So you're not going back on your word in any way. Even if you were to put out a whole nother album, you weren't. But no. I'm excited because at least you got your toes back in that water. You know what I mean? That, to me, is good news.
Yeah, and here's the thing about it, too, is, I knew right off the bat it was meant to be when we started. We had got the beat from the producer, and once I started writing and as she was telling me the story and we were figuring out where we wanted to go, you guys probably know as an artist when that spark starts happening, like, you get real excited, like things just start moving so quickly. It's like spider, legs going across your brain. It's, fireworks in there. It was just fucking incredible. And I knew like it was meant to be. And it's also about a connection too, because, having a connection with that artist, and the connection was there, the artistry was there, the singing was there, everything just seemed like it was, it's definitely not a moment you pass on. So it's going to happen. It is going to fucking happen. You know what? It is happening. So actually where I'm sitting at, I got the stuff we've been working on right next to me, which is kind of weird. I'm sitting here looking at it while I'm talking, but I mean, if I wanted to be a dick, okay, I could just keep releasing songs and then just say, well, I said I was only not dropping albums anymore. But no, I don't have fire right now to do that. You know, I'm kind of not kind of I'm all in with acting. But as far as watching another artist grow and, you know, help construct them, you know, I feel good about that. I feel a way I haven't felt about music in a long time, and that feels good.
Yeah, what I was going to say is I know what you mean when you talk about how when you get excited about a new thing's coming up, or you just feel it and you can just feel that vibe. It's like I used to play music many moons ago when I was younger, and when you're jamming and you find that groove and everything's working just right, and you can almost reach out and grab it. It's just that feeling in the air. It's so concrete, it's so real that you can just almost grab a hold of it. That's the same kind of way all inspiration kind of seems to be. A lot of people ask me, you know, what book are you working on next? What's next novel going to be? And I kind of always have the same answer for them. It's like, well, whatever story wants to be told next is the one that'll be next. You know, I don't really plan it. It's whatever story is screaming out from the ether, wherever it is I get them. Whatever's screaming to me at that moment that has to be told, that's what I'm going to write. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same kind of feeling. It's whatever the universe decides is going to be what your energy is going to be used for at that moment is kind of where you go. You just kind of follow it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the mistake I made when I was younger was I would like start lining up my career on a page. Like, I'll release this album, then I'll name this album this, and I'll. But when you do that, like that same energy is not there. So I learned that real quick. Like, yeah, definitely, you have to go with where you're at in that moment of time. That's the same thing with connections. And that's what I love working with Sean Donahue right now with Heartbreak Killers. Like, you know, there's that fucking feeling. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I cuss on here? I didn't even ask.
Yes, you can.
Okay, good. There's that fucking feeling in the air when you're both so excited about something, you know, and I mean, you cannot buy that. You cannot buy that shit. And that's why when I'm in that moment of time with that person and in the moment with the art, like I gotta be all in, man. Like I want to suck out every creative little drop of juice I can from it. You know what I mean? I believe that's the shit that's going to be carried on and be remembered, you know?
Yeah, if you can feel it when you're creating it, then your audience will feel it when they consume it. You know, that's kind of my philosophy on things. When I'm working, it completely takes me over to the point to where I don't really eat or drink or get up to go to the bathroom or anything. I'm just kind of lost in the work. And however long that inspiration lasts is how long I work. You know, if it's an hour, then I will sit and write for an hour until it leaves me. Some days it's 13, 14 hours. You know, I've worked all the way through the night into the next day, and my wife, God bless her beautiful, beautiful soul, will actually bring me drinks and bring me food right to where I'm writing and everything so that I don't get dehydrated, because literally I will not get up, and because I don't even realize that anything's around me. You know, I'll just kind of smell the food and just reach down and grab something and start eating it as I'm working. You know what I mean? And so you get carried away with it, which is beautiful. That to me is what makes it worth doing. You know, and if you have that feeling of being lost in it and being carried away by it while you're doing it, then I really, truly, honestly believe that your audience will have that same feeling when they're consuming whatever form of art it is.
Yeah, man, we're on the same page on that. And yeah, I cannot express that enough to any other artist. You know, if you got the creative bug, if that juice is flowing, you know, whether it's in a group or whether you're solo or whatever you're doing, you know, it doesn't matter what it is. But if you have a love for that, when that juice is flowing, man, extract it. Get everything you can. Either put it on paper or put it on film, whatever you got to do. But get it out there, because there's something special about that. You know what I mean? There's something that can't be described. That's not something you can just write on paper and express. Like, that's a feeling in the air that can only be captured at that time. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I think another problem that a lot of people have is they try to self-censor their work. You know what I mean? They think, oh, I can't say that, or I can't write that because maybe society won't accept this or that. You know, they worry too much about how people are going to react to what they're doing instead of just letting it be. You know, I believe, like in my line of work, every story is a living, breathing entity. It's a thing that exists outside of my mind. Does that make sense? I believe that it's a real thing that wants to be told, and you have to be true to that. You know, if that inspiration comes to you and that story uses you as its channel to get out to the world, then you have to be true to that story. You can't change it around. You can't say, oh, no. I understand that you're a great story. I understand that you want to be told, but I can't say that because everybody will think I'm an asshole if I say that. So I can't. I have to change that part. You know, I never do that. I let the story be what the story is. You know, the only thing I ever do is run through and do a quick spell check and grammar check so it isn't too terrible before I put it out. You know, I let the story be what the story is. And I think what that rings true whether you're writing music, whether you're doing movies, whether you're painting, whatever you're doing. You have to be true to that inspiration. Whatever that muse is for you, you have to be true to it. Because if you don't, if you try to change it and censor it for consumption, then all you're really doing is killing the energy that's in that story or that song or that movie or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense, or is that just nuts?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I believe everyone has their own ways of working, but it makes sense. You know, you said the word entity, which made me think, and that's something to think about, because when art goes out there, whether it's song, film, drawings, you got to remember everyone interprets that in their own way. It takes on life in a different way. Yes, you make a drama. Yes, you make a comedy. But everyone does interpret those different ways. Same thing when you like the greatest song you ever heard in your life, and you tell someone, they're like, that sucked. And you're like, what? But you know what I mean? Something's to be said about someone who can connect with you. You know, are there people that can connect with the masses? Yeah. God, my mind wants to go in a million different directions right now. But I'm going to
stop.
Say
whatever you want.
Well, it's funny. I don't want to go changing the flow of it, but for some reason something pops in my mind, and that is I've had a lot of people contact me lately, mostly film students and people in college that, Eigh8t, I know I want you for this lead role in this film, da-da-da-da-da. And for all I know, these guys could be the next Stanley Kubrick. You know what I mean? I'm nobody to judge, but I want to address this now. Look, I'm so honored. I'm so thankful that anyone's contacting me. But I also do this mass scale on your show rather than, keep doing it individually. It'll just make it easier here. Work under your, you know what I mean? Because it's always good to, to show the work. Like, same thing. You wouldn't be calling me or messaging me to be the actor or associated with your work if you didn't see what I've done on film. And same thing, like, I believe in you guys. I hope you come out of school, fucking cameras blazing, shoot the hell out of it. But make your first film, let me see what you're working with, and then we can work from there. That is something I definitely want to say before we finish the show. And I was like, I forgot to say that shit, because I'm honored by all those messages. I truly am, and it means so much to me. But yeah, man, get work under that belt. Let me see what you do, and fuck, man, I just want to be a part of great art.
I agree. Totally agree with that, man. That's great to hear that too. So, somebody starting out and they give you a call. I figured you'd probably help them as much as you could if you have the time, because we know you're a very busy man and you have a lot of things going on in your life. You also have a job too on top of that. So or we wouldn't be, living in the street right now. Wouldn't be on the phone. Yeah. And but it's really great you're like that, man. That's awesome. Dude, like I said, eventually I want everybody to know this guy right here is like I said, I love talking to this dude, and I really believe one day you're gonna see him on everywhere, and you're gonna be, wow, man, I used to listen to that show Staring in the Abyss, because like you guys get for your books and your radio and whatever your movies, how I get the same feeling of doing a show with James. It pumps me up, and I'm ready to go. And I get that feeling like, man, like right now I was excited all week when last 2-3 weeks we were going to do the show. I was off the wall, man. It's exciting. It gives me
Yeah,
a rush
no,
to do
same
this.
same here, and that's probably why. Same here. That's probably why it might seem weird to people. Like, wow, he's done that show twice. He's not really doing other things. It's not that I'm blocking any other shows, but there's a connection here. You know what I mean? There's something special in the air each time we've got on here. And yeah, man, you got to go with what you feel. Same thing as we were talking about. You know, when you're in the moment, use it. That's what I'm doing, man. This is a moment. We're gonna use it. We're gonna extract something special out of this shit. Over
Oh,
and
we
over.
will. And don't forget your buddy James Hershey and Old Boy for one of those copies to review for your the new movie you're in. So
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. When I go to the cast signing, I'll let the director know. We'll get you something.
oh, awesome, dude! I want to check it out, dude. Can't wait. So other than that, what else is how's everything going? How you know like I was telling people. I mean, the last time you said you were getting ready to move. How's your new place going? How's
Well,
that going?
yeah, like every day, every day. Well, let's go back to. Yeah, I'm in a different space now. You know, it's funny how life goes. You know, you're at one moment you're like shooting for the stars and everything you want, and in the next moment you still have that same outlook, but the world has completely changed, man. Every day I walk into this apartment where I'm at now, I'm thankful. I never thought it would happen, you know, living where I'm living at now. And, you know, like I was telling you before the show started, it's not Hollywood in the hills. Well, you know what? It's kind of Hollywood in the hills of this area. But you know what I'm saying? It's not a palace. But dude, I'm so thankful for every little thing I got. You know, I'm so thankful that after the divorce, I had such great friends that were there. You know, just and not so much financially wise, but I mean just there. You know what I mean? Like when you're down, and even though I don't truly feel I was down, but you know, obviously you're going through something, and your friends pick up on that. Dude, I'm thankful for fucking everything, man. I'm thankful for being on the show. It's probably going to get boring how many times I say how goddamn thankful I am of everything in my life, but that's where I'm at. I'm, you know, back to the artist I'm working with. Everything just feels like it's coming together. Does it feel like I have it all figured out? Does it feel like I know my life's plan? Hell no. I'm still searching for a million questions every day I wake up, but I feel like I couldn't be on a better path. Like I'm in my moment, man. I'm very comfortable and I'm busting my ass, not only at work, working over 50 hours a week. You know, the beautiful thing is right now in life, I'm like paying all these bills, right? I'm doing all this shit, you know, and I love it, man, because it's weird. Like before I was in a marriage and you know, we were struggling, and now I have my own shit that's 2 times as bigger, and I'm not struggling, and I don't understand how that's possible. But the only thing I can think is the universe is looking out for me, you know, like it's paving the way. I'm still able to do my craft. You know, I'm still able to be on your show. Like good things happen when you're a good person. And I don't know how to say it any other way.
It's funny because, like, I'm a Christian. I'm a big believer in God, and I really believe that when you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, and I'm not referring necessarily to behaving yourself and not being a bad boy. What I mean by that is, I think we're all here for a particular purpose. There's a reason why we're on this earth. There's something that we're meant to do. And when you're doing that thing that you're meant to do, not only does it feel right to you, as in you just have this feeling like, man, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. This feels amazing. I'm so excited. Not only do you have that feeling, but all of a sudden, as if by magic, doors start opening for you. You know,
Yeah.
the path is it's almost silly how easy it is. Where other people who are trying to do the same thing struggle mightily to achieve anything. But when you're following that path that's laid out for you, it's amazing how easy things are for you, how it just flows, and it's just simple. You know, yes, there's struggle, yes, there's bad times as well, because it's peaks and valleys, man. But it just seems like everything works. As almost the only way I can really say it is almost as if by magic, because I mean that's how it is in my life. You know, when I do the things that I'm supposed to be doing, when I use the gifts that I have been given to put them to the purpose in which they were designed to be used for, everything goes so smooth and easy. When I fight against that and I try to do what the world tells me to do, things get very, very difficult. So what I would say is, as long as you trust in your gift, you trust in your path, and it's different for everybody, but your particular path, as long as you trust in that, things should be very, very easy for you, relatively speaking. I mean, I know there's struggles. I know that it's not like, hey, here's a check for $20 million. It's not like that. But it just, everything goes a lot smoother when you're following that path. I really believe that.
Yeah, no, hey, man, you're touching on some special shit right now. That is it. And I don't ever take it for granted when things start flowing, you know what I mean? Because right now, things are flowing. That doesn't mean like, I don't feel it's just easy. I feel like the hard work has to be put into everything. I don't ever carry myself as, oh, well, this one I'll be okay because I'm talented. Nah, man, that doesn't exist not in my reality. I know that people will tell you're talented, and I know on some base that I am talented. But when the work starts, like, it's everything. I tell people that want to get involved, I definitely don't want to come off like an asshole, but I kind of got to, because I always want to ask someone, I'm like, well, do you want to talk about it or do you want to do it? Because ask me the questions you need, but don't waste my fucking time, because I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and you can do it too. There's no difference between me and you. You can't just say, well, James wrote his book, or Eigh8t has this, or Old Boy has his show. You can't just throw those out there. Everything had to be worked for. Did some things fall in my lap? Sure, but some things fell in other people's lap too. Like, if you want something, there's no law in the universe that says you can't have that. Quit just investing in an idea. Invest in the work. Like, if you want to record an album, or start with a song. If you want to, get into a movie, start with acting class, or start with what you feel is right. Because I'll be honest, I never took a fucking acting class in my life. But start with what you believe. It doesn't have to be anyone's set goal or plan, but follow your fucking heart. And I'm learning every day, so I haven't mastered anything. I just put the work in. But, yeah, man, I think we're touching on one of those special moments.
That's a very important point as well, because when I say everything is easy for you when you're following your path, that is not to say, and I'm so glad that you said that, because as soon as you said it, I thought, damn, I didn't say that. That is actually a great point. That doesn't mean that you don't have to work for it. I work extremely hard. I put in almost 16 hours a day. I don't have a regular 9-to-5 job anymore. All I do is write and do shows and stuff like that. This is my job. But I work incredibly hard. And I know Eigh8t works incredibly hard, and I know Old Boy works incredibly hard. So I believe everybody who is really successful, they put in the work. But the funny thing is, when you're doing what you love and what you're supposed to do, the work isn't really work. Yes, you're working very hard, but it's something you love, so you don't mind it as much. It's not like you're spending 12 hours digging a ditch or working in a sweaty factory. You're doing something that you're passionate about, something that drives you. So it feels easy, and things just seem to work out for you, is I guess the way I was trying to put it.
Oh, no, absolutely. No, you put it together well. Yeah, you got to believe the dots will connect. And let me just say this, man. Any writer who says that it wasn't hard, I'm going to take a wild guess and say their shit must suck, because I think we talked about that last time, but I believe that's why writers have that connection, because I think we all go through it. You know what I mean? Whether it's coming out easy or it's coming out hard, or however it comes out, the work has to be put in. But that's just my opinion as a writer. You know what I mean? Is my writing.
Yeah, that's what kept me from writing a novel for most of my life. When I was a child, I was a writer. I wrote things when I was young, and I had written a lot of different articles and short stories for different magazines and stuff like that. But a novel was always the granddaddy of them all. It was always the dream, and I never really tackled it because, and maybe it was just in my own mind, but it appeared to me like some massive mountain that was unconquerable. Like, it was just too big of a thing to ever believe that I could hope to accomplish. You know what I mean? It was just way too intimidating. And it was a funny story because I was actually giving a speech. And it was one of those, hey, you can do anything you put your mind to, believe in yourself, one of them rah-rah speeches to a child. Well, not really a child, it was a high school student, but to me that's a child, I'm old. So I was giving this speech, and then it clicked in my brain, man. I said, I'm not living what I'm preaching here. Here I am telling this child that they can accomplish anything in this world if they just work at it and if they believe in themselves. And here I have a God-given gift, and I know I do. I'm a hell of a writer, right? And I have this gift, and I'm afraid to use it. I will fight any man on earth. I'm afraid of nothing. I've been face to face with bears in the woods. I'm not afraid of a damn thing that walks this earth. And that's the honest to God truth. But the idea of writing a novel scared the ever-loving shit out of me for most of my life. And it was that feeling of fear that was brought on by the fear of failure. I was afraid that if I could not accomplish that task, that meant that my gift was counterfeit, that I wasn't truly what I thought I was. So I was afraid to attempt it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? To be honest, I can't just say that about my younger life either. I mean, of course, I did. Sometimes the fear is the success. Like sometimes it's not always because I'll fail. The way I look at failure now is good. I'll just get better, but I ain't trying to fail. You know what I mean? But I think before it was more success than anything. Like, what if it is good? Where do I go from there? If it's good, did I sell out? I didn't understand. I didn't even know my own laws to my integrity back then. But even nowadays, when I'm getting into something new, because as you guys know, my passions tend to change, like natural bodybuilding. I made excuses for years, even though like something about me loved it. I didn't follow the sport of it or competition or anything like that, but something about me wanted that. But before I pulled the trigger, I just kept making excuses. Oh, well, my body. Oh, my genetics. Oh, well, because my mom has these problems. And I'm, finally one day I'm like, I fucking want this for me, man. I don't give a shit. Fine. I go to the gym. I break my fucking arm. So what? I look stupid. I don't care. I'm getting muscle and I'm eating it. Like, when that flip switches, that's when the world is yours. That's why I cannot stress enough, man. Get what you want, because you don't want to wake up 20 years from now. Is it ever too late? No. But why waste that time, man? You don't know when your deathbed's here. And I'll tell you what, when mine's here, I know that none of us are going to be ready, but I fucking refuse to regret. I refuse to say that I didn't chase down what I wanted while I was here. Hey, can I switch it to something else real quick that's definitely different about this time?
Go right ahead, brother. Go right ahead.
Well, check this, man. I got my dreams and all that shit, like we all do. But what's funny is I recently met someone, and this is what's different now, too. Well, you know how it goes. I guess you meet a lot of people after your marriage. But I met someone, and it was crazy. Like, I seen someone that struggled. I seen someone in life I felt that a lot of people had tossed out. I seen someone that I feel didn't get their just due, their fair shot. And it's a person that I believe is completely fucking capable of capturing the world on their own. And when they do, or if they do, I will have no stake in that claim. I won't say, I'm the one who pushed them. It's not even like that, because at the end of the day, it's always that person's choice. I don't even know what I'm getting to, but I do want to talk about this. But a great part of my life has been just watching another person grow. A person that is going to get to do some great shit, and how, I'm going to continue to do my great shit. It's not like I'm stopping to, give this person the ultimate push of their life, because that's not what I'm doing. It's just, it's cool to be around when someone else is taking off. And, it's not a thing of saying that I'm a part of it, or I want them to get where I'm at. No, I want this person to fucking succeed beyond me. I want this person to achieve, and more than anything, I just want to see a smile on this person's face. And that's kind of, I hate saying kind of, even though I say it kind of all the time. It's not kind of. It is what I want to see. I'm just in a point right now where I'm doing great things for myself, but man, does it feel good to take a breath and just watch other people do some great shit. I just, there's nothing like it, man. You know, my friends, my family, and the people around me, just, I love watching people succeed. Is that weird nowadays? I know it's the day of the hate, but fuck, what can I do? I guess I'm different.
I totally agree with you, man. I'm happy for you, man, and I'm happy for whoever you have in your life, just like I'm happy for James. I'm happy for anybody who succeeds. And I can't believe people hate. You know what that is, dude? You know what it is? Just like you said, you have to want it. And you can't just go wake up 20 years later, I'm going to do this, because you never know. You can't get that time back. You're right. No, and you can make a movie at 90. It's just the point is you'll never get that time. And if you don't do what you want, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. And trust me, when I tell you this, you will. You will regret this for the rest of your life if you don't at least try for something. Like, that's all I could tell anybody. I want to see everybody do what they want to do in their dreams.
Yeah, and check this out. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But a beautiful thing to be said while you're saying that is like, look at tonight. It's Saturday night, right? It's, you know, here in Florida, it's about 11:30 right now. I could be out. I could be going somewhere. I could be watching the UFC 213 right now. You know, there's a million things I could do, but the beautiful thing about this is I used to say this word a lot, like sacrifice, but this ain't no sacrifice. This is where I want to be. And when people get that in their mind, like, you know, this is connected with what I'm doing, this is where I want to be. It's not about what you're missing. It's about what you'll really get out of it when you go for it. And dude, I wouldn't rather be anywhere fucking else than right here, right now.
And I appreciate that. And just to let everybody know, it's 8:36 in California. I could be doing the same thing at a bar. I have plenty of time. And actually, after this, I'm going out to go do something. But I would rather do this than anything else right now. The UFC fight, I'm a UFC fan. Trust me. But you know what? It's not a sacrifice when you love doing what you're doing.
And that's the thing. This ain't just a podcast. This is like, you know, I told you guys before, the whole reason I do this is because there was something special. Fuck that. Something. Your show is special. You know, you guys communicate different. You know, I don't know. There's just that feeling in the air, and that's all about. That's what I'm all about, chasing that feeling. So, yeah, man. That's a message to everyone out there, man. You know, because I think of the majority of the questions I get is, how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? I don't have any secret key. I just go and do it. Like, just pick what you want to do, and then start moving towards it. We'll take the first step. Fine, you don't know everything. We'll read about it, Google it, do whatever you have to do. I mean, surprise what you can Google and learn, you know, or, you know, check your facts better, get deeper. But sometimes I don't care about Google. Sometimes I don't care about what another person's opinion is. Sometimes I say, you know what, I want to do this, but I'm going to do it my fucking way. Yeah, that's the way I'm going to do it. And I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. I'm just going to do it this way. But, you know, I'll be honest, I do tend to like to do things the hard way.
Well, that's the way you're supposed to do it, because the hardest way is the best way to achieve anything. Because if you want the easy way out, you'll just learn how to take shortcuts, and you don't always want to live a shortcut way of life. Sorry,
yeah,
that's my opinion.
No, hey, and I'm with that. I just believe that when the payoff comes, I mean, really, I don't live for trophies anyway. I live for the journey. But when the payoff comes, it always feels better when you put that hard work in, you know, when you busted that ass, when you made those, I try not to use this word because it should be a different word, but when you make those sacrifices, you know, the good sacrifices, the payoff is so much better. Like, you know, if you won a paper championship fighting some tomato cans, like, yeah, you won the belt, you can say it, but dude, when you went through the roster and you fought all the monsters, come on, man, you are the champ, and everyone knows you're the champ. That's how I want to feel.
That's a good way to live your life, man. Because you know what? When you come out as a champ after beating the best, it's more fulfilling than coming out and beating the easiest. I'm sorry, that's just how I've always been. So I don't know how fucking people. I don't understand why people always want the easy way. I mean, I understand it because they don't know any better, but it's not always better to do it that way, and people don't get it. And that's the way you do things, listeners. Just like the way we do things. Like he was saying, James works 16-hour days. I mean, whatever you want to think, he still works every day. I work fucking 50 to 60 hours a week, and then I do the show, and then I do stuff promoting the show. And then he works 60 hours a week, and then he does stuff with music and movies. And it's not like we give, it's not really sacrificing, it's giving up for something better down in the future, if you want to say it that way. There's a new world for the future.
Yeah, that's what I love. Like I was telling you before, I love that feeling. I love after my body's destroyed after a full week of hardcore work, because when I'm still chasing my passions at every minute, when I'm not on that clock and chasing them on the weekend and chasing everything I want, it just lets me know that, hey, there ain't nobody that wants it this bad. You know what people want to do? They want to go home, relax, they want to repair, and I ain't knocking that. But, you know, that's why I treat my body as good as I can. I'm as healthy as I can be. I exercise as much as I can to do what I do. But most importantly, you know, it all comes back to, you never know when that clock, you know, that time runs out. And I just, man, I don't want to waste time, man. I want to do the things that I love. I want to do the things that are special. Man, I'll tell you what, man, what's like, you know, just out of curiosity, what's like your driving force? I mean, what's your driving force? Like, you know, what is it that pushes you?
Me or Hershey?
Both of you. You first.
You want me to? Okay. I'll go first. Basically, I've always wanted to do this, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, it ain't about the money. Trust me. And don't get me wrong. We all like money. Let's get that right now. But I mean, it's always good to have a good life. The main reason I do this is, one, is I love it. I get it. I don't know how to explain it. I love it. And the other thing is, there is a part of me in the back of my mind, and to let people know a little bit about me, is I didn't have the best childhood life, you know, and everybody hears this story. And a lot of people said I was never going to do nothing, even my own family. And they think, you know, they think it's a joke. It's not really a joke much no more. But even when I got my shirts and I got popular with the show, there's some people just, like you were saying, they just didn't really care. They don't really care. They think you're a joke still. And until you start getting more and more, and then the joke starts changing to them. And they're doing the same thing they're doing in their life. And I'm not trying to dog on anybody. I want everybody to have the best life, but I'm a realist. You're going to talk shit about me, but yet you're still doing the same thing where I'm doing something bettering my life and other people are. And you're dogging everybody else because why? Is because they're afraid to do what they really want to do because they don't believe in themselves. And that's what it comes down to. Haters, that's what it really is. They don't believe in themselves and they don't have the ambition to do something with it. And I do. I love doing this. I don't know how to explain it. That's my thing. I see something coming out of this that on my head I did with this radio show, and I just see something that this is what I'm meant to do one day. And that's what I'm going to do, is pick famous people's minds. I don't know why. It's just going to happen. That's it, and it's not for fame. It's just something I enjoy. I'm weird. I like to learn things from different people, unique people, epic people, and I like to see how they lived. I don't know if you guys understand it. I'm out there, but that's what I get out of this. It's an adrenaline that you can't get anywhere else, and that's why I do this. And I do it with one of the best horror writers in the world. And I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't kiss this guy's ass. He knows me. We're so different, but we're so much alike. And it was the same thing. We were doing shows at another channel that, you know, people were quitting and giving up and just didn't care. And it just worked. We clicked and it happened. And I enjoy doing this every week with him. And that's why I love doing this, bro. I don't know about him. He'll tell you his side, but that's why I do this.
For me, it's like, as far as my writing goes, I do that because I can't do anything else other than that. Not that I don't have other talents and I can't make a living doing other things, because I can. But I can't not do it. It's something that drives me. I mean, everybody knows my backstory at this point of how I dream. You know, I had these nightmares and it turns into my novels, and how my writing process works. Everybody knows that by now. But for me, it's like I have to do what I do. I can't not do it. It's something that has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. And literally when it's time for me to write, I'm overcome by this feeling, this compulsion that I must write. There is no option. There is no choice. It has to happen. The longer I go without giving in to that feeling, the stronger it gets, the worse it gets, until literally I'm doing the mental version of the pee-pee dance if I had to go to the bathroom really, really bad. I just can't hold it anymore, you know? That's how it gets for me with writing. It overtakes me and I must write. You know, so for me, there's nothing else I can imagine doing. You know, it gets to the point where I feel like I will literally die if I do not give in to this force and write. You know, so that on that side, that's why I do that. As far as the shows go, the reason I do the shows is a couple reasons. One, with Staring into the Abyss, my entire life I have been interested in and absorbed into the occult and the paranormal world, probably because of the fact that I've been having these nightmares that repeat my entire life. And so I've always struggled to try to understand just what the hell is happening to me. You know, I mean, because imagine, if you will, if you're a child, a small child, as far back as you can remember, and every single night of your life, you have the worst, most graphic, most horrifying nightmares every night. I've never had a good dream. I've never had, you know, I hear people talking about dreaming about flying, or, oh man, I had this dream last night. I was driving this Lamborghini and I picked up these hot chicks. I've never had that. I've never had a dream where I had a day at the beach with my family. Every single night of my life, I witness hell in person. You know, I smell it, I taste it, I touch it, I feel it. Sometimes I'm an observer. Sometimes I'm standing there watching the scene. Other times I'm one of the participants in the scene, whether I'm the killer or whether I'm one of the victims or whatever. Sometimes I'm in that role in the dreams. And so I live these things, I experience them. So for me, I've always struggled to try to understand just what in the hell is going on. What is happening to me? Why am I living this hell every night? So that's why I got into the paranormal, and I had a great interest in you know, Roman and Greek mythology and all the things that go bump in the night, all the different creatures. So I have dedicated my entire life to studying the lore of these creatures and learning just every imaginable thing that I can learn about all of these different things. And hopefully one day being able to solve that ultimate mystery of why I get the dreams that I get and what the hell they mean and why me. You know, I'm just a mountain man. I literally am. I live in the mountains. I'm a guy who isn't like some psychic. I'm not some, you know, ghost hunting extraordinaire. I'm just a guy, you know, that lives in the mountains and has a simple life. You know, I don't do what I do for the money either. I've made fortunes and I've given away fortunes. You know, I don't give a damn about money at all. I've told old boy before, my goal in life is to die penniless. I don't want to have anything when I go. You know, I give away more money than most people will ever earn, and that's the honest to God truth. We just recently did an event in D.C. where we got together a truckload of supplies to send up for the homeless up there. You know, we had all these awesome care packages, man. We made up meals for them, medicines, you know, soaps and shampoo items, that kind of stuff, clothing, and we sent up there and, you know, to try to help these people out. Those are the kind of things that move me. You know, I'm passionate about that. I'm passionate about our veterans, about the people that put their life on the line for us, for our freedom every day, you know, and for when they come back and they need our help. I've done a lot of events to help those guys. You know, I spend a lot of time on that kind of thing. Those are the things that drive me. And the reason I do this show is because of the passion I have for the paranormal and the unique aspects of my own life that correlate to that, and because working with Old Boy, there's that electricity in the air, that feeling that we're always talking about, that just feels amazing. And I know that this is the path I'm supposed to be on. Now, where will it lead? I don't know. We got news coming up where we're getting ready to be on a CBS affiliate with the show, which is going to be really exciting and really cool. Where will that lead? I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I don't plan anything out. I just go with the flow. I let whatever it is that causes all this stuff lead me where I'm going. And this is where it's led me. And I can feel that feeling that Eigh8t talks about and that Old Boy talks about. And I know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I know that this is the path I'm supposed to be on. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And like Eigh8t says, man, you never know when your ticket's going to get punched, So you just gotta live your dreams, You can't just sit there and imagine what life would be like. We all get our haters. I mean, that happens when you get known, People will get pissy with you. But what nobody realizes is there's a hell of a lot of work that goes into this. It's not like we just show up and blab our mouths for an hour and then go home. There's a lot of work that's involved. And anybody that's passionate about any of these things or anything in your life, just follow that passion, follow that love, find that thing that makes you feel alive, and find out a way to do it for a living. And I guarantee you, your life will be a lot richer, not only financially, but spiritually, you'll feel so much better.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because now you got my mind twisting, thinking about a lot of things. I get a lot of hate because, okay, on YouTube, obviously, there's I'm bringing a little show to it, but off of YouTube, I think some people on social media think that I'm rubbing shit in people's face, and that is far from the case. It's just, I feel like I know it's possible, and I still have so much more I want to accomplish. But once you can open up these great doors and do these great things, I want to see other people do it. And that's the people that are wasting their time with fuck you should have been strangled at birth, and all these other shitty comments I get. They're funny, but I mean, it's ridiculous how simple it could be if you just put the work in. And I think a big part of that is changing the way you think. The thing that held me back so long was how I think. There was a lot of negative, and unfortunately, I thought for a long time I needed all that negative to do the music. It had to be negative. My life had to be negative for me to thrive as an artist. However, that's not the case anymore for me to do great things. It's that attitude when I wake up, that positive attitude, that list of goals and things that I'm thankful for, and not the fake fucking sunshine smiley attitude, but the attitude of I am going to do this shit. No one can take this away from me. This is what I want. And who's to say, I'm not going to list my goals, because every time I say one of these things, people, you're shooting way too high. But fuck you. Fuck anybody who has to say anything about what I shoot for. It's my life, and fine. You want to know what? If it's such a fucking laughable goal, then laugh at me later when I fail. But for right now, I'm fucking doing it because I don't give a shit. Everything that has been accomplished throughout my life are things that people laughed about. Or my YouTube channels, when I first started that, people, why do you do that? I mean, but why? Why are you doing it? Because I want to do it. Because I like movies. Yeah, but they're horror movies. Does anyone actually watch that shit? Yeah, they do, and I bring something different to the table. Well, I don't see what people would see in it. You always hear those backwards compliments, but that scared me away. That should always move me when I was a child. As far as growing into myself, I was never the type to hear something and steer away. I'd always run right in the fire. I want it. I guess that's what I'm chasing, man. I want the fire. And I'll work for it. I'll work to build that fire. I know that fire just isn't going to appear on its own, or lightning is going to strike every time to create it for you. You got to build that fire, and I want to build the biggest bonfire I can, and I want people to see this fire from another planet. I don't know. Am I weird?
those kind of people that say those things like you can't do this, you can't do that, you're shooting too high, you'll never accomplish this. Those are the same kind of people that never really accomplish anything, you know? Because there's a famous quote that says, even a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And that is so true. You know, it doesn't matter how big the goal is. It doesn't matter how big or how long your journey is. All that matters is that you get to stepping. You know, you got to start. People ask me that same thing too. Of how do you do this? You know, how do I do it? If I wanted to write a novel, how do I do it? You start. That's it. Just write it. Just do it. You know, don't get the hell out of your own head. That's the problem that most people have. Realize you're not in control. You never will be in control. You know, you have control over the small things. You can kind of try to steer the ship a little bit, but there's a path there for you. Just get on the damn thing and walk. Just start. Whatever it is. If you want to write a book, if you want to make a song, if you want to do a movie, if you want to draw a comic book, if you want to be the pumpkin pie eating champion of Cincinnati, I don't give a damn what it is. Just start. Get out of your own damn head. Stop believing that you can't. Because you can.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, you can do it. I honestly believe that. At one time, people said we can't go to the moon. You know, at one time, people said you can't climb Everest. You know, you can't do this. The things that we have accomplished as a species, mankind, are breathtaking. And think about every one of those amazing things that has been accomplished. I guarantee you the majority of people said you can't do that. But all it takes is one guy, one visionary, to say, fuck you, I can do that. And then they do. And then all of a sudden the impossible becomes the ordinary. You know, nobody could run a 4-minute mile. That's impossible until they did it. And now lots of people do it. But at one time, nobody could do it. You know, it's the same thing with everything. Somebody has got to be the first one to do it. Why not you?
Yeah, raising the bar, and that's what I know it's different, but I mean, there's competitive things, but then there's things like the art. That's what I love about. I mean, I just love all aspects about creating, and the way you can change, making your mark on screen, or God, it's like brain is different. I'm trying to travel down at once. So many things I want to say, and it's weird because this is the first time I think in life where things are lining up where I feel right. You know, I feel at one with what I'm doing, but at the same time, it's never enough. You understand? Like, it's still never enough. I'm always wanting more, but it has to be the right thing. But yeah, it's talking like this that I don't know, man. I can't see anyone who's listening to this when they listen, if they're not already going after what they want. I guess that says something about us, man, in this moment. I guess it says that, that's where I'm at, man. I'm truly at a place where I love to see people succeed. Fuck that. I'm just going to get into this. I'm seeing people that have been around for a long time making their mark. There's this guy, Pete Gerard, who we cast in Crack Baby. He's the guard at the beginning. And I mean, on screen, this fucking guy has a presence, man. He's beautiful to look at. I mean, he's just the essence of badassery on screen. I mean, I love it. And I knew after John, the director, had casted him, I was like, wow, man, John fucking knocked it out the park with that, because, Pete has something special. And there's this weird thing in the air with a lot of people. I feel want to give someone their due. They never want to recognize. But I love to recognize. You know why? Because I get to work with these people, and it's fucking amazing how someone this guy Pete has been around for so long around this community, but some would consider him new on screen. But this guy shines, man. Does he have the, all the tools in his pocket? Well, he's probably like me. I don't feel I have all the tools in my pocket, but he has so much, and I could learn so much from that guy just off his first role. You know what I mean? I think that's very impressive. yeah, I think it's important to recognize people, kind of like on the show. That's why I know the interview's about me, but that's why I asked that question to see what is it about your drive? And it was amazing to hear those answers. I bet a lot of people have listened to your show, and I haven't listened to every show, so I can't vouch, but I think it's something special that on this show, this night, that we all talked, and everyone just learned something very valuable about you two, whether they knew it or not. It's something when you hear someone say something, you hear a connection. Yeah, man, some real shit. Oh yeah, shout out to you, Pete, if you do listen to this. But yeah, back to it. We got a lot of fucking amazing artists down here, dude. I am very lucky, very fortunate. I'm putting work in, but I'm very, very lucky.
See, I think that the reason why not a lot of people will recognize their peers, give people their props, is because they have this misconception that somehow somebody else's success is your failure. That somehow if somebody else is succeeding and doing well, that hurts you in some way, like they're your competition. And I honestly believe I don't have any competition. Whether it is in the writing world or the radio world. I am super stoked when somebody like a Stephen King puts out a new book, or I love Dean Koontz, Jack Ketchum. They're amazing. And whenever they put out a new book, I am stoked as hell because I get to experience that. I get to read it. I love that stuff. So I don't look at them as my competition, even though we're in the same field. Man, I hope every one of them succeeds. I hope they're multi-billionaires. I hope they have the greatest lives ever. Because just because you like them doesn't mean you can't like me, or just because you're, one of my big fans and you love my books doesn't mean that you can't love their books too. It's silly, and I think it goes that way for everything, whether it's movies or music or whatever. There's room for all of us. I don't see any reason for there to be any real competition between anybody. I think we should. I mean, I'm a big love guy. I love everybody and I try to help everybody I can, and I really enjoy seeing people fulfill their purpose, and make something out of themselves. To me, that's awesome. And so whenever I can be on a show, because I do a lot of guest spots on a lot of different shows myself, and I don't care if it's a little tiny podcast that's just starting out that nobody listens to. If somebody asks me to be on, if I can work it into my schedule, I'll be on. And I'm honored to be on and be a guest and to help. Push it in any way I can. If lending my name to your show for a day can help you get some listeners, great, man. I'm stoked for you. I think if everybody would just work together and help each other out and love each other, I don't think we'd have very many problems at all. But for some reason, everybody always thinks that if somebody else succeeds, that means that it's going to hurt them, and it really couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, no, it's the weirdest shit. If anything, I mean, I'm at a point where I just feel like it inspires. You know what I mean? And I think it's important to acknowledge this. And there's a reason I brought up Pete. I could bring up a million people. We have tons of talented people down here, not just directors, but actors, actresses. But yeah, man, I think it's important because there was a time when, I thought that, especially in the rap world, like, other rappers, they don't give a shit. But there was this weird competition, like, I don't care if they give a shit, but, I'm the best and this and that. Where now I'm just at a point where, like, I think it's important to let people know, you don't have to suck their dick every which way or blow smoke up their ass, which I would never do. But when you have an important comment to say someone that you're not just saying to make them feel good, but you're saying because it means something. I think it's important to do that. And I thought, I don't know, man, it was strange. Call it the universe, call it just something in my heart. I wanted to say that about Pete, man. I think that he's got something so grindhouse, so badassery, just something special. And shout out to John for, seeing that and capturing that. And shout out to Pete for, keep doing movies. I'm happy to be on a, Descort Service 2 with him. He was in there again. And let's just say, he brings something special there too. That guy's going to do some great shit, man. Believe that. I didn't lose you, did I?
No, we're here. Old boy, did you have anything you wanted to say before we wrap up? We've been on for over an hour, so we're getting near the end of the show. So do you have any final questions you want to ask Eigh8t?
You know what? we're gonna have 8 on again one day for part 3. That's
Oh hell,
that's
we're gonna
just
have
a
8
given.
on a bunch of more times, bro.
Yeah, you know what? Like I was saying, I might even have 8 on next week on We're Screwed, just so you guys can listen, so he can listen to the whole different show. But I want to thank Eigh8t for coming on here and taking the time out of his day, because he could have been on anybody's podcast, and he picked to be on ours again for the second time. So I just want to thank you, man. It's been an honor. I love talking to you. I love doing this show with you on it. When you come on, that's exciting, and I can't wait for part 3. I really can't.
Yeah, we're gonna do the three-headed monster, man. We will definitely do that. Okay, can I give 2 little shout-out things before a couple of shout-out things before I go?
Absolutely, brother.
I just want to remind everybody about the Crack Baby Billionaire release. It is up for pre-order. Most of the cast will be signing those before they ship out, so get on that. That pre-order is only $12.99, not $20, not $30, not all that crazy shit. Just $12.99 for an official release. New artist Fallen Angel, look out for her. We got a single coming. 13X Studios, they'll be working with Gods and Monsters October 13th. That's Friday the 13th this year. I might be involved with that, might not, but still go there and support him, because I definitely will. That guy's doing great shit. Heartbreak Killer, coming from Sean Donahue. Look out for Chris Wood's new film, which I will have a heavy part in. You guys will enjoy that. And big thing, last thing, Descort Service 2. Descort Service 2. The premiere is at Tampa Bay Screams, August 26th, 10 p.m. Be there. But just go to the convention, even if you can't make the premiere, man, because that shit's like family, and I'm going to be there. I got a hotel room. You can find me in the boss section. And, yeah, my last thing, dude, guys, I'm fucking honored. And once again, I had a great time, and we will do with the three-headed monster.
Awesome.
I just want to say, brother, that I love having you on. Not because you're Eigh8t The Chosen One, which you are. That's awesome. But I really, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I really don't care about that. I like having you on because we have great conversations when you're on. You're a special guy, and I love talking to you. I would have you on if you were, Eigh8t the chosen bagger down at the Food Lion. I would have you on multiple times because
Eigh8t the chosen drinker. Yeah, we
have great conversations, and I love that. I mean, there's a lot of times we have people on, for different shows, and they have a name, and it's all good, but it's boring as hell to try to get through the interview. You know what I mean? But with you, we always have these wonderful conversations. You're truly an interesting dude, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate what you bring to the table. So thank you for coming on, man. I love you, brother, and I can't wait to do this again. So with that being said, thank you everybody for listening, and until we speak again, love many, trust few, and do harm to none. We love you. Bye-bye.